EGL Treats. I'm Allegra.
And I'm Oriana.
For today's treat, we're going to be making
2 different versions of pate choux pastries. So you probably know pate choux most commonly as cream puffs
or
yep.
eclairs or even churros.
Yeah, well, cousin of churros.
Cousin of churros.
Not churros exactly, but
yes.
they're very similar.
Yes.
So what we're going to be showing you is 2 things, a sweet and a savory. Because we got a lot of requests for savory from our live stream.
Yes.
So our first one is going to be Croquembouche. So this is going to be a special New Year's or Christmas treat per French tradition. And these are little cream puffs that are stacked together into this beautiful little pile. And
filled with delicious sweet cream.
Yep, we got 2 creams that we'll show you. And then for our savory, we're going to be using the exact same dough.
But in these, we put shredded Swiss cheese and a little bit of garlic and a little bit of pepper in there.
Yep, these are perfect just as they are. No filling, just delightful little melt in your mouth cheese puffs. And they are known as Gougeres. So we'll be showing you how to make both of these, and we'll take you through the process of assembling your own croquembouche. All right, let's get to it.
Recipe, you will need 8 eggs plus some egg wash to brush along the top, a pastry brush, some salt, 2 sticks of butter or 8 ounces, 2 3/4 cups bread flour, milk, 1 cup, and an additional cup of water. Additionally, after we finish our pastry dough, we'll be dividing the dough in half, and in 1/2 we'll be grating in Swiss cheese to make a savory version of our pastry, and in the second half we'll be piping them full of some sweet, fruity creams.
And then also tools for this. Allegra already mentioned it's going to be a lot easier with a stand mixer. You can do this by hand, but you're going to need some serious muscles for that. The endurance would be the key. But so we're going to use a stand mixer and a paddle attachment, and then you're going to want a nice big pot and a heat-proof spatula. We've got 2 piping bags, 1 for each of our types of pate choux, 2 piping tips. Allegra already mentioned the pastry brush for the egg wash, and then this is just a
container to help us fill the piping bags.
Yep, and then 2 sheet pans. We have silpats, but totally go ahead and use parchment or whatever you have to keep things from sticking. And we have the oven preheated to 360, ready to go.
Okay, to start off for our pastry dough, in our pot on the oven, I have the heat turned up to medium high. I'm going to add our cubed butter. That starts melting. Put this aside. Now we have our 1 cup of water here, and into that I'm going to add our 2nd cup of water on top to the 2nd cup line. Make the measuring nice and easy. Right about to there. I'm going to add that to our butter, which is already starting to melt nicely. That aside. And then lastly, our salt. Just a pinch. Now start mixing this, stirring it gently until it all melts and starts to boil.
Okay, so you can see here we've got a rolling boil starting. At this point, we're going to add all of our flour in one shot. So go ahead, and I suggest you bring it a little closer. Try not to splash yourself. So add all of it in, and we're going to stir it and form a nice thick paste. And you can lower your heat down to medium at this point. What's going to happen here is you want it to come to a boil so you can have all of that hot liquid hydrate the starch in the flour, and it's going to gelatinize at this point. And that's what we're trying to do. We're going to make this a really thick paste, and when it starts to pull away from the sides, that's when we are at the right consistency. If you've ever looked at like a slice of really nice artisanal bread, and you've seen that shiny, kind of glossy texture to the inside crumb, that is gelatinized flour. It's that really lovely, chewy texture. So just make sure that you get all of your flour really incorporated in there. You're going to use the spatula, smooth it down, stir that really vigorously. Okay. So some people will say that this stage is to cook out the starch or cook out the flour, which is a term I really don't like because it's very misleading. Because like, cook out the flour, where do you think it's going, man? It's all here. It's all right here in the pot. It's not going anywhere. What's actually happening is it's gelatinizing. That's what's actually occurring here. But I think it's a term that, I don't know. Tell me in the comments if it's something you've heard before. Maybe it's something that's just said in, the cooking world. I wonder if it pops up commonly in like cookbooks and stuff. Let me know if you've read that before.
Yeah, really just cooking out that raw flavor of the flour.
Okay, so you can see this is starting to come together. And what you're looking for is you can see there's a little bit of a film forming on the bottom here. That's how you know you're getting close. And when you stir it and it's not sticking to the sides at all, that is good. And this looks like we're nearly there. For some extra assurance, I'm just going to take it a little bit longer. And then we're going to put this in our stand mixer bowl and we're going to leave it for about 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and let it cool down a little bit. Because the next thing that we're going to do is add our eggs, and if you add them too quickly while this is hot,
you don't want to cook your eggs.
You're going to get some scrambled eggs.
You don't want scrambled eggs, Choux. Yeah.
Okay, so this is great. So you can see no sticking, pulls to the side, holds its shape. Let's go ahead and add this in. I'm going to pull up that in there. Nice thick dough. Beautiful. So the reason that also that you want to gelatinize this, the secret to pâte à choux and in general cream puffs and those types of things is what you really have going on is structural support from your gelatinized flour. So we're using red flour, lots of protein, lots of starch, nice and strong. And also those eggs when we add them in, those are the secret to that puff. When those eggs start to get hot in the oven, they're gonna steam and they're gonna lift and support the whole thing.
Going to
and gives you that nice hollow center that you can fill in with delicious yummy things.
Okay, for this next step, we're going to go ahead and start mixing our choux dough to loosen it up. And once it's loosened up, we're going to add our eggs 2 at a time. And once you get a consistency that's falling off of the paddle and very gloopy and stretchy, that's when it's going to be ready. So we're going to go ahead and show you guys all of that because the mixer is very loud. So we're going to go ahead and do that now.
And a quick note here, you may not need all of your eggs, so make sure to look for the consistency, that gloopy falling off the paddle Allegra was telling you about. And just add them 2 at a time. When it's fully combined, then add the next one. So look for consistency, don't just dump them all in.
Yep.
And so you guys can see here, it's kind of starting to pull off the paddle on its own. That's good. We want it to do a little faster than that. I want it to kind of fall down a little quickly. So we're actually going to use all 8 of our eggs. But yeah, every set of eggs is different, so just look for that.
So we did 2 and 4, then 6, and then we did the 7th egg singular.
Yeah, and then we checked.
And we checked, and then we decided, yeah, we're going to need our last egg.
Yep.
I'm going to go ahead and put that in now.
Okay, and let's give that a scrape. Yeah, okay, so that, you can see this falling off the back here, that's what we're talking about. Heavy enough with the eggs that it's pulling its own self down. That's it. You want to test it with your mixer paddle, not on your spatula. But you can see it here, and it's got that body and weight to it where it can just plop. That's what you're looking for. I don't know if I covered that for you guys, but here, I'll do one more for you guys. So you should see that when you turn it, and it's got that body and weight to kind of get it to drop. It's getting a little set here, but there you go. That's what we're looking for. Okay.
And we're looking for a nice smooth texture too. Not, because it kind of looked a little lumpy and separated before.
Yeah, it's going to look separated every time that you add the eggs, so just make sure it's really well combined.
Beat it until you have it all combined, yes.
Okay, so we're going to separate half of this and put it into one of our pastry bags, and then we'll show you guys the Gougeres, the savory ones.
Alright, so the next step is we've separated half of our dough, left it in the bowl, and the other half we've put in our piping bag. We're going to pipe out in a bit. And to the half we have in our bowl still, we're going to add our grated Swiss cheese.
We got 6 ounces of it. It's a nice, generous amount. You can use whatever cheese you want. Swiss is kind of traditional, but Parmesan or any other kind of drier cheese is good.
Drier cheese will work. Just going to add it in all at once. Give it a nice mix. Alright, doesn't need too much mixing.
And I'm actually going to interrupt here one last thing. I love pepper. So
oh yeah,
I'm going to add a little bit of pepper.
You can add pepper, you can add garlic.
Any savory things you enjoy, really, you can go ahead and toss in.
Put some garlic in it.
Yeah, so we have some garlic powder. We'll put some garlic powder in. This is really nice too if you have some, excuse our
well-loved and used seasonings. Some garlic.
Bit of garlic. This is really good too if you have some vegetables that aren't too high moisture. You can chop those up and add them in. Without anything that's like super wet or super soggy.
Right.
But yeah, freewheel with your Gougeres. Anything savory you like, toss those bad boys in.
Give those a nice mix. It doesn't need too much mixing. And now we're going to put this in our other piping bag and get started on piping.
Yep. Okay, so we are going to pipe our plain pâte à choux first. This is going to be for our Croquembouche and our little cream puff guys. We're going to do these first, and we're going to get them in the oven, bake them off first, so that they don't have any of that cheesy aroma mingling with them. And if you guys have seen our live stream that we did, where we did the meringue mushrooms, it's going to be a similar piping technique. So, again, a little refresher. Hold your bag with your palm of your hand like this, and use this palm part of your hand to push. And we're going to hold straight up and down. We're going to go for about a quarter size. We want them to be small so we can stack them. And hold it a little higher so we get that round shape. Give it a good amount of force. Stop and cut off. So I'm just going to do a whole bunch of these little guys. Do give them some room for them to puff up.
But as you can see, they don't need as much room as what's printed on our
silk
pad.
Not.
But they will expand a little. And for this recipe, we're going to do 2 different sizes of choux. So for our croquembouche, we're going to make a tiny croquembouche. So we're piping some smaller choux. And for the savory ones, we want a little bit bigger to snack on because they're going to be just standing by themselves as their own separate treat. So we're going to pipe those a little bit bigger.
Yeah, and we'll show you guys in a second. Allegra will flatten off the tops with some water and give them a little egg brush just to clean them up and give them some shine.
And
so
yeah, just like we did with our mushrooms. I don't know if you can see me back here.
Hold on, let me get out of the way here.
Just like we did with our mushrooms, you take a tiny bit of water, just tap water, put it on your finger, and smooth out the top. This is, again, a total optional step, but it makes the tops look a little bit rounder and smoother. But again, totally optional. And then after I do that, I'll go over them with the egg wash.
Yep. And then we'll just fill both of these sheet trays. You probably won't need it for the size of croquembouche that we're going to make, but we just went ahead and made a full batch recipe. Just make however many that you want.
And I'm going to take my egg wash, just a little bit on the top.
And we're going to stick these guys in the oven. For these smaller ones, we can check on them again in 15 minutes. Usually that's my rule for pâte à choux. Check on them in 15 minutes, see how your oven is doing. But these generally take anywhere from 40 to 50 minutes to bake, because all they have, again, lifting them is just steam and egg. So it takes a second, and you want them to be really nice and dry, so they have that firm structure, and so they don't get really soft and soggy right away from the fillings that we're going to pipe into them.
Okay, now that I've flattened out the tops and basted, brushed them, these are not a piece of meat. Now that I've brushed them with the egg wash, we're going to go ahead and finish piping the rest of them, and we'll show you at the end. Yep. Okay, we have all of our small choux piped and ready, and again, basted with egg wash. And I'm going to put these in the middle rack of our oven, and again, we're going to set a timer for 15 minutes and then check them. About half an hour, turning them halfway through, and we're going to take them out to show you guys exactly how they should look. Oh, they're beautiful.
They're such a cute size. And I'll sneak in here while she pulls out the other
Don't burn yourself.
see if you guys can see that. But this is what you're looking for. You want this really nice browning on the top, but pretty still light on the sides.
Oh, it's a nice shine on the top too.
Yeah, I know, they look great.
And they're nice, gonna be nice and hollow on the inside.
You see they got that nice
you can hear
sound to
hollow.
them, and they got that nice round shape. These look great.
Perfect.
They're adorable. So we are going to let these cool down, and then when the pans are free again, we'll switch over to our savory dough and get our little cheese puff guys ready to go.
Ta-da.
Oh, nice! Beautiful hollow space. Right on.
Now that we have our non-savory choux, our sweet choux taken out of the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start piping our savory choux batter. We're going to use the same method that we did with the other choux batter. We're just going to make these guys a little bit bigger. Straight up and down.
Perfect. So the really nice thing about pate choux is so long as you keep it in a airtight container, or you can even just keep it in the pastry bag without cutting the tip off. So long as you keep it from drying out, basically, you can make it in advance and then pull it out whenever you need it. It's really nice. Beautiful. So the other really nice thing with the savory one, since more people were requesting savory things, is you can totally make like a cheese sauce and just add some whipped cream to that and whip that and make a savory cream puff type of thing going on. Or you can cut these guys in half. You got a little.
I'm struggling.
You got it. Here, let me.
It's okay. Perfect.
Oh, wait. What's here?
Ah!
The people's on oven. It's a glob of cheese, that's all.
Chew down.
You can totally cut these guys in half and make little sandwiches out of them. It's really nice for that.
Call them like salmon and lox.
Mm-hmm.
Salmon and cream cheese.
Yeah, cream cheese with these guys is really good. If you have a little bit of...
Or if you had like an herbed cream cheese.
Yeah. I was gonna say cream cheese and like some shaved ham or whatever.
Caviar, if you're really fancy.
Roasted vegetables, if you want to go for a veggie version.
You could do like tiny little mushroom caps on the inside. That would be so
really
cute. You could like saute some mushrooms, put it in there. The possibilities are endless. Honestly.
Anything you like in savory
Anything you want,
sandwiches.
just make it tiny and slap it in there, yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna make these, and then when we have them all piped out and washed, we will have them in the oven.
It's so hard to pipe. I see what you're talking about. My wrist.
You know actually that you have the right consistency when your hand is starting to hurt after a certain point. It's a pretty stiff dough, but it's worth it.
I'm like squeezing with both hands.
Okay, so we have our beautiful Gougeres ready for the oven, all nice and egg washed, and we're gonna put those in. And since the smaller ones took 30 minutes, we're gonna check these in 20, probably turn them around, and they'll probably need 40-45 minutes.